Alright, class, our new topic for today is all about weather disturbance. So, what is weather disturbance? Weather disturbance is any pulse of energy that moves through the atmosphere. It can be start of a low pressure system or start of a storm. So there are different types of weather disturbance. First is tropical cyclone, second is tropical depression, third is tropical storm, fourth is typhoon or hurricane, fifth tornado, sixth intertropical convergence zone, and last is monsoon. So we will proceed. What is tropical cyclone? Tropical cyclone is a form in the following conditions. When warm waters of at least 26.5 degrees Celsius, then high humidity, low wind shear, rapid cooling with the height, and pre-existing weather disturbances at ground 5-degree latitude away from the equator. Cyclones develop over ocean with wind speeds that usually decrease when they hit the land. It can last for a few hours to several days. Next is tropical depression. The tropical depression may form when a low pressure area is accompanied by thunderstorms that produce circular wind flow with central wind around 61 km per hour, depending the scale used in various regions of the earth. Then third different types of weather disturbance is tropical storm. Tropical storm has stronger sustained winds of 117 km per hour. It is also has defined surface circulation and distinctive shape of a cyclone, starting to develop but without the presence of an eye. Then, typhoon or hurricane. Typhoon or hurricane, the wind speed is 120 km per hour. Then, typhoons and hurricanes form with following conditions. When there are a pre-existing weather, warm water, low atmospheric water, high winds, and sufficient force from Coriolis effect, which is a westward deflections of circulating air due to shape and rotation of Earth. Then the another one is tornado. Tornado is a rotating column of air, usually by severe thunderstorm. Then it is also violently rotating column air. Can move from 30 to 70 milliampere and may last for a few minutes. Next is the intertropical convergence zone. It is a region. It is a region around the equator where trade winds from north and South Hemisphere's coverage. So the North Hemisphere moved to South and the South Hemisphere moved to West. So most affected area or affected country is number one is the Philippines. And lastly, monsoon. Monsoon is a continuous shift in prevailing wind directions. This seasonal change can bring about heavy rainfall and harsh weather. Monsoon have two types. First is northeast monsoon and second is northeast monsoon. Northeast monsoon is also called hanging amihan, or southeast monsoon is also called hanging habagat. So we will have tackle also before the weather before, during, and after typhoon. So before typhoon occur, uh, you can observe or you can see the dark clouds are formed, air is colder and dry. Third, winds starts to blow. Then during the typhoon, strong winds and heavy rains. Then big wave, surging of winds in counterclockwise direction. So after the typhoon, the environment are flooded, speed of wind decreases, plants and structure are damaged. And I have here also the examples of emergency kit. Number one is water, second is batteries, cell phone, cash, blanket, radio, first aid kit, flashlight, or important documents, prescriptions, or medicine. So before we will proceed to the next activity, let's have our 5 minutes exercise. Okay, everybody stand and one whole sheet of paper and do the activity 1. The instruction is draw your own disaster supply. I'll give you 15 minutes, and after that, do also the activity 2. Give one weather disturbance that occurred in our community. Then what will you do to prepare for it? Before we will end our discussion, let's review. Okay, again, weather disturbance is any pulse of energy that it can be start of a low pressure system or start of a storm. So one of the different types of weather disturbance, first is tropical cyclone. So when we say tropical cyclone, the condition is warm waters of at least 26.5 degrees Celsius. Then cyclones develop over ocean with wind speeds that usually decrease when they hit the land. Then tropical depression may form when a low pressure area is accompanied by thunderstorms that produce circular wind flow or with central wind around 61 km per hour. Then the tropical storm is stronger sustained winds of 62 to 117 km per hour. Then, the typhoon or hurricane, ang wind speed is 120 km per hour. Then, it is also when there are a pre-existing weather disturbances, warm ocean, water, low atmospheric water, high winds, and sufficient force from Coriolis effect. Then when we say IPCZ, this is a region around the equator where trade winds from north to south hemispheres coverage. Then lastly, monsoon is a continuous shift in prevailing wind directions. Then monsoon have two types, northeast monsoon or hanging amihan, southeast monsoon or hanging habagat.